My fellow spookmates, this is the tale of Lanoir and Rory. A young couple named Henry and Maxine were recently wed. They were both artists. Maxine was at home writing a children's novel, while Henry was at his studio painting. He noticed a storm was brewing, so he put away his paint and brushes and left to go home. On his way, battling the wind and rain, his car was struck by a fierce bolt of lightning and burnt to a crisp. Henry, Henry Rory was his full name, vanished. When his bride heard the news, she wept for days. It was never really clear what became of Henry. A recluse, she never left the house, and no one ever saw her. The house was dark and the shades were drawn. Years later, she was found by an IRS agent, laying lifelessly on the floor. She couldn't remember who she was or where she lived. The police took her away. For years, she lived at an insane asylum, dressed in black, covered from head to toe, as if she were in mourning. The unknown woman hardly ever spoke. One night, in the midst of a storm, she jumped up, ran outside, and screamed, "Rory!" The attendants went rushing to catch her. When they finally reached her side, she said her name was Lanoir, from the land of the dark, and she was going to meet her mate. Lanoir was fascinated by the weather. One night, in the midst of a terrible thunder and lightning storm, she quietly left the asylum. Walking along the street, she came across the weather crew from Grade A Gruesome. She jumped in their van and told them she was the weather reporter assigned to work with them for the duration of the storm. Victor, Sally, and Aaron piled in the van with Lanoir, and off they went. The weather crew was covering the vicious storm when suddenly their van was being attacked by zombies. They were climbing on the van, banging at the windows. Sally understood zombies and tried talking to them, but they just kept banging and scratching and licking at the windows. Aaron was driving as quickly as he could and sped away, swerving to rid of the zombies. Victor, in his cool, reassuring voice, kept the crew calm. He led them to the studio where they could start the show. Lanoir went to the rooftop reporting the weather. When she returned, the doors were locked. Suddenly, a zombie grabbed her coat and was about to eat her brains. She lunged at him, tore at his face with her sharp nails. The two struggled, blood splattered all over the studio window, and suddenly there was silence. Lanoir, what book were you writing?
It was called My First Ghost. I got the inspiration from Rory the night that he was painting his picture when a doll followed him home. She slashed through his canvas. The story was about a little girl and her doll, who was not very nice.
And Lanoir, how did you learn that the zombie outside the studio was Rory?
Well, he was walking in the other direction, and I thought it looked like him. When I called his name, he stumbled, and when he turned around and looked at me, even though I could tell he wanted to eat my brains,
Brains?
I just knew it was him from the look in his eyes.
How did you ever recognize him with his haggard face and the worn-out clothes?
No, Rory.
There was blood all over the studio, and the doors were locked while you were outside giving the weather report.
Well, there's a simple answer. He was the only zombie who listened to me when I told him not to eat me. Must be true love.
Rory, do you remember what happened before the accident?
Was painting for Lenore's doll chased
Rory, were you at the studio and then driving home?
Studio. Paint. Coming to Lenore.
Lenoir, what has life been like since the accident?
Well, for a while, I couldn't remember anything. I guess I just chose to block it all out because I was so heartbroken. But the night of the storm, when I saw Rory, everything just came right back to me, and I could remember everything. Sometimes with Rory, things are a bit difficult, especially when he wants to eat my brains. But for the most part, it's been quite pleasant.
It's been quite amazing that you were married once before, you as an author and Rory as an artist. And then you were separated for so many years thinking Rory was dead
Brains.
after that horrible accident. And now reunited once again. Dearly beloved friends and family, I have the honor of welcoming you to this ceremony in which we will wed Lenoir and Rory. They asked me to say a few words to set the proper mood for their wedding. I thought of quite some time about what to say, discarding metaphors and quotes of love before finally settling on a topic near and dear to their hearts, zombies. Today I'm going to say a few words about how they met. Their story is a bit different, fresh from the smooth and spooky weather report, which she had just made. Lenoir met Rory when he was breaking into the station. They felt an instant connection and fell madly in love. We will now perform the zombrimony. Lenoir, do you take Rory, a zombie man, for your partner? To have and to hold, in death as in life. To love and to horrify forevermore?
I do.
Rory, do you take Lenoir, a zombie woman, for your partner? To have and to hold, in death as in life. To love and to horrify forevermore? Ugh! By the powers vested in me, by the laws of survival, I now pronounce your horrifying marriage complete. May you both proceed in love and horror, extending horror to all you meet. You may now bite each other, but gently, please. Thank you all for attending. There will be a celebration outside, followed by a private reception.